going to kind of repeat myself with the balsamic Jackson. This is a rouge salad, and I called it rouge. I had to do it for a wine many years ago, something that was wine friendly. And so what I did is take radicchio, I core it, and then I either make a bowl, and if they split, then it's all the better to put it inside another one, or you can just use one half and it sort of acts as a cornucopia. Clean up my mess here. And my shredded radicchio is kind of a bitter, so it works well with having a sweet item with it. So I do honey, balsamic vinaigrette again, but I put raspberry puree in it. And I get a beautiful, very rich color. And anything red goes. I have poached pears that I've done in red wine. And you can leave them whole or chop them up, but I sort of do one. And what's lovely, instead of poaching whole pears, especially if I'm going to cut them up, I will now peel them, cut them in half, use a melon baller to get out the core, and then you really get, everything doesn't look hacked up. You get a really lovely two-tone, or if you cut them in wedges and then poach them, they're beautiful all the way through, but I kind of like the two-tone. I add grape halves, red grape halves. There's another thing that I discovered from a friend were roasted grapes, green or red, and slow roasted. They concentrate the flavor. They are so good. So that's a fun thing you can do. Either leave them all in a bunch and or take them off and, a couple of hours on a low heat. And you could take them down to raisins if you want, but they look very much like a grape, but they're just a little richer in color. Because nowadays, even though it's not Christmas time, the pomegranates are fun seeds to add. Raspberries are lovely. And if I were making this as an entree, I'd either do shredded duck or a pork and red meat of some kind. I've got candied pecans here. And I tend to leave, and I do have a recipe for that and how I make it in my packet here. The when you're in the restaurant industry, often nuts are kind of a scary thing because either people are allergic or they don't see it, and maybe weren't expecting something hard, so I tend to leave them whole rather than chopped up in a tossed version of salad. And that way, if they can push them aside or they're aware. Blue cheese, candied nuts, kind of sweet fruit things are very food friendly together. If you're not a blue cheese person, I'd use either feta or crumbled goat cheese. So we've got our pasta in here. I'll pretend I chopped up the pears. And I will add my flowers that are the same color just sort of after I've tossed everything. And rose petals are really lovely with this. And I julienne them. I roll them up, and it sort of is a confetti that'll look really pretty on the plate. And this is really pretty too if you did a bowl of it. Decided to serve it as a large item. And even for various holidays, 4th of July coming up, you can put blueberries in it, and so it could kind of be a red and blue, and sometimes there's enough white of the radicchio stems that you, instead of throwing the hard part away, you could slice it up really small, so it would be a version of red, white, and blue. So we'll take a full rose petal here, put our pear slice, and a full. And so even though this may be kind of an entree salad or a plain salad, and of course you could make it much smaller in a smaller cup, but that makes a really pretty display, and it doesn't have to be served on a tiny little salad plate like we used to have. I want to show you a trick that I probably will be known for, the only thing I'll be remembered for, and that is how to cut tomatoes. And this is such a good trick. You have a flat-handled bread knife, hopefully. If you don't have one, it's worth getting, because even bread slices. But you want to pretend you're rubbing the handle, polishing the handle, and you just make your hand a slicing machine. And they all will come out absolutely evenly, same size. So for hamburger platters or the caprese salads, and I'll quick do anyway, you get the idea here. And mixing in the colors of your tomatoes, and let's see. Again, your balsamic, your basil oil is wonderful with this. A basil sprig, if this were a platter, and just imagine you doing this for a big platter is lovely. And cutting small little slices. These are just the little grape tomatoes that were cut in circles rather than halves. And what do I want? Oh, we'll add some more of these. So you've got all different types of mozzarella, and so that would be fun for a buffet. This is sort of old-fashioned, but sometimes old gets new again. And I call the center cut kind of a twist on the wedge that used to be so popular. But with all the baby lettuces, sometimes we might be a little tired of, you know, just whipping out the package that everybody knows, whether it's spring mix or the herb mix or whatever. Sort of pull out one color and then hollow out your tomato and form a little bouquet.
Okay.
And then you can add flowers to it. You can add an asparagus plant. You could make it a vegetable salad as well. So that's kind of
Cute.
fun. And again, maybe some of the yellow flowers and some of the microgreens that are the same color. So really, your own imagination is so open to all kinds of things. You know, again, you could do the balsamic syrup. It would just be absolutely lovely. Other things that I have done is fill leaves and just put your dressing, I mean, all your goodies in a leaf like that, and or do two and have them stuffed. Other things that are fun as far as cutting and tying is to just shave one down a little bit or leave it whole if it's nice looking. You can wrap it up and tie it just for a little extra look. And let's see what we'll do here. Shaved cheese and mixing cheeses. We have a little arugula here. Another really good, easy salad is roasted corn kernels, shaved Asiago or Parmesan, and breadcrumbs and the good old ranch dressing. And these are known as popcorn shoots, these little guys. And so that's kind of a fun herb if you can find it.
Where do you shop to get all these things?
Well, these popcorn shoots I bought over the years, but they're kind of a specialty item that I have to order through a produce company. So, you know, you don't always find them. Sometimes I do. Avocado's really good, and I have a trick. Somebody told me in one of my cooking classes, rather than lemon water, Sprite keeps apples. It keeps avocados clear, so you can cut them earlier without them getting brown or mushy. So pears, apples, and these guys, they're so easy.
Do you submerge them?
Do ahead.
Do you submerge them or just?
Yeah, just pour the whole can, and it's just terrific. One other thought, it's right in front of me. If you don't have ties to wrap things, taking English cucumbers seem to be the best. But if you use a little slicer, you get wonderful wraps like this. And so you could wrap up a whole head of whatever lettuce you wanted and then slice it or marinate them, and you've got a little bit of extra flavor if you marinate this. Or with some of the other, you could do a prosciutto and wrap it around. One last one for summer is taking radicchio, wrapping bacon around it, because so many of the salads sometimes are grilled romaine now. Rio Grill was doing that for a while. Grilled radicchio. So again, with the sweet balsamics or sweeter dressings, and then this kind of cooked in the bacon and with a very thin baker's bacon. Or for those of you that know Tony Baker, he makes his own brand, and he's a chef at Montreal, so we all buy baker's bacon. But this just cooked on 3 sides in my little fry pan, and it was just perfectly fast, easy to do. And so with an outdoor barbecue, this would be a great version of a salad vegetable. And I think time-wise, I could go on and on and on. As I said, these are the fun sprinkles that you could scatter on a plate. This is hibiscus, there's rose, and these are basil. But it might be kind of fun on your way out to just kind of see the bag of tricks. I will say something. I didn't realize that fuchsias were edible. They are. And of course I pluck off the leaves and keep them separate. But one of the top herb companies from Chicago years ago, I finally figured out what their magenta lace was, and it was the threads of the fuchsia, and they don't have, any really strong flavor, but they are so beautiful on top of hors d'oeuvres or things, or mixed into the top of something. So as long as I hate to mention what flowers aren't edible, because you might remember that thinking they are, but I know the internet has lists of all the things that are. Roses, Johnny jump ups, orchids are edible. In fact, a lot of the produce companies sell little mini orchids, the borage flowers, all kinds of things. And if you're just doing a regular tossed green salad, sometimes just throwing in herbs like your different mint leaves. If you've got any volunteer miner's lettuce that are growing in pots or yards that the birds have brought by, they are almost like a butter lettuce. Basil leaves itself, they'll add a wonderful component and surprise in just a regular green tossed salad. So sometimes simple can be just that, clean and simple. Anyway, unless you have any questions for me, I think that's my